Hello and welcome everyone back to another exciting episode of the Roleplay Podcast. We are doing and by the way, thank you guys for doing the 2 weeks in a row because I'm going to be out next week. I don't know. I'm doing some dumb shit. I actually don't even remember why I'm out next week. I'm out next week. So I want to do an extra session, and someone who I really wanted to bring on as a guest very soon, I feel topical to a lot of conversations, is our good friend Capt, who's muted. Oh,
hello. How you guys doing? Everybody?
Now,
thank you for inviting me, Blau and Chatterbox, and I guess Dimok as well. I guess
Damn. Okay,
yes, that's right. We do have production with us again here today. Dimok Productions on standby. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, why can we see Chatterbox and Blau but not Capt? Well, that's because roleplay streamers oftentimes don't use a camera. And a lot of people think that's to add immersion, but usually it's so that they can be doing other work in the background or be on their phone and not be paying attention to their chat or their content. And then they let other people carry their content for them by basically just setting up cool cinematic scenes and letting other people talk. And it makes it seem like their character is just, intently listening, when in reality, the streamer's just doing some other shit.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that one. To be fair, though, I don't actually, in all seriousness, I actually never have my phone on my table when I do stream, to be honest, which is, I think, a bad thing.
Yeah, well, it's probably in your hand, right?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Look, God, I feel like that's good. No, like you're not like addicted to your phone like the rest of us.
But what if it's emergency? I won't be able to Then they got to wait 9 hours for me to respond. But what can you do?
Wait, did you say your wife?
No, I said, what if there's an emergency,
Oh, I thought you said, well, if my wife has an emergency.
Wait.
Yeah, imagine being married. Am I right?
Whoa.
Imagine being married, having someone you love and children that mean a lot to you. Losers.
Exactly.
I'd rather just, grow old in the shallow pits of LA and live a hedonistic, degenerate life. Anyways, welcome everyone to the Roleplay Podcast. I'm Blau. We have Chatterbox. We have Capt. Cap, do you watch hockey at all?
No, but I know there's some sort of massive thing going with Maple Leafs or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Wait,
Oh no!
Wait,
5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. Timer's already started. 5 minutes.
Are
Get it
gone,
all out.
brother. They're gone. They're out of it, bro.
But next year they've got it. They're looking awesome.
It's their year next year. Yeah,
it's their year
absolutely.
next year for sure. Maybe you can give us an equivalent team like in soccer. Is it okay if I call it soccer, or does that trigger you?
I'll let you slide, but that's it is cool football. It is cool football. I know soccer is just what I mean.
Sorry, maybe there's equivalent team in football. What's like a team that basically has like a ravenous fan base that like demands excellence from their team, and their team actually should theoretically be a good team, but they cave under the pressure of all of the expectations and the weight of their fans, and every year they disappoint?
Portugal.
Arsenal.
100%.
Yeah. 100% Arsenal.
Okay.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, we do good, then we just collapse.
Okay.
What can you do?
The Maple Leafs of football, huh?
I want you to know the Leafs fans though throw their jerseys on the ice and boo their team.
Bro,
Okay,
they'll
yeah,
put
that's-
after every playoffs, there's videos of all these Canadian fans going out to their backyards, lighting a campfire, and just throwing their jerseys in there.
Yeah, at first I thought it was just for you guys to stay warm, but then I remember that the playoffs happen in the summer, so.
Yeah.
Wait, they burn their jerseys?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
What the hell?
Done with this fucking team. They throw their jersey in the fire.
Like, don't get me wrong. I think in general, the craziest fans are football fans, right? Like, I think soccer/football fans are the craziest fans, except for two different fan bases. And one is Toronto Maple Leafs fans and what's the Alabama State fans? Roll Tide. Those guys. Those are like the two craziest fan bases. Are we past the time yet, Demo?
Yeah, we're past the time.
Oh,
I was,
sorry.
I was letting you guys get it all out. It seemed pretty somber. I felt really bad, but yeah.
None
let's
but
get
the
back to
tide. Yeah, it was pretty rough. Anyways,
Keep talking about hockey. I'm gonna start crying.
yeah, I mean, so just as context, Chatterbox's team, Winnipeg Jets, were eliminated.
Time.
Sorry.
Time.
You had to cut it off. Why couldn't you cut it off like 3 seconds before he had to say what he had to say?
I'm sorry.
Bro.
Sorry. Listen, Hellebuck will do good in the playoffs next year. Anyways, welcome to Roleplay Podcast. Once again, we're on season 3, episode 3 of season 3, episode 27, 28 total, whatever. What was I? Oh, right. Capt is joining us. Capt, hey, how does
Blau.
it feel to have cheats in GTA Roleplay? Am I right?
Feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good. 4 years in the making, I finally got access to the cheats. It's good. It feels good. You can just,
Damn, dude.
teleport here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for those of you wondering, so Capt does have a dev menu, as do I, and I think Capt, you went through the route of like, I'm gonna produce really good kind of selfless role play, enabling other people's role play for years, to eventually be granted that privilege. And I clout chased Buddha and became friends with him and used nepotism. Two different routes, same result. And now that we're here, I want to know, how do you use your dev panel to gain an advantage personally in the server?
I've spawned on Pigeon about 5 mil. Done that. Refuel my car here and there. I also spawned some hot dogs the other day as well. So it has its perks. It has its perks. It does have its perks. Let me tell you.
Okay. So joke,
It does
joke, all the joking aside. So, I do want to talk about this. Kat, what do you think, like, genuinely, how has having like a dev menu changed like what you can do? Because you really are like someone, I think it's like the dev menu never changed you. It's just enabled you more. You were always someone that people pointed to as, this guy is selfless and is enabling RP for others. How is now having the dev menu, what has that done for you?
It's so I'll put it like this. I'll give you a real life scenario. So before, when I did missions, I would contact devs. They would spawn, ABC vehicle in my garage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sincere, very busy, wouldn't be able to like be on standby. So I would like wait a week for a reply. I get the things in my garage. Then, for example, if I'm doing a mission around 9 p.m. EST, what I would have to do, wake up at Storm, drive all the way to LSIA, get the attack helicopter out, put it at a certain location, F8 quit, do it again, F8 quit, do it again, F8 quit, do it again, and then F8 quit again, so I can spawn there and then go on my main character and wait till 9 p.m. So let's just say it's been it's made it 10 times easier, but we have been through a lot, let me tell you. And also managing people as well, because obviously we have a lot of helpers. Before it was like we meet here, then we have to go rent a vehicle. We got to go to A to B. Obviously, don't get seen as well by cops. Because if they see like people like all these assault rifles, you're gonna get stopped straight away, right? So that's another problem. All that is obviously, now that's changed. It made it much easier. So back in 3.0 as well. So I had this Colombian arc going on where I used to sell drugs, right? And I used to always do it by helicopter, and you could only rent helicopters back then.
Right.
And you could never Benny's you could never change the color. So I would always spend $5,000 to get the white colored helicopter, and I would spend like 50K RP money on a drop that made 5K. Like it was that, like, But now I can spawn the helicopter, change it white, and we were good to go. So
yeah,
it's all about immersion at the end of the day, right? So
a funny story. The very first time I ever ran into Capt, he was playing Pigeon, and I was with Buddha, and Buddha and I think we had like DM'd about it even afterwards that day of RP. I was like, damn, that guy was really good, because you did, I think, like a gun drop for us out in the middle of the ocean, like south of the airport, and we were like in a boat, and we just saw like this helicopter crash and this dude parachute in, and that was you doing the drop for us. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I remember that actually. That was that was like what 3 years ago.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Kat, it was a lot. That was my first impression
That's
of Pigeon.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was I did some gun deals like that back then. That was good. Tell them to go on the boat. No idea what's coming. I parachute down. That was good times, man. That was good times. I was surprised you remember that. Holy, that was.
Oh, your first impression of Pigeon was way better than mine, dude.
What was yours?
Hey, what was yours? What the?
He was shooting at me with a fucking Changang.
Oh man. No, I used to. Actually, you're probably right, to be honest. You're probably right. You're probably right. You're probably right. You're probably right. Oh man.
So my next question is actually then for Chatterbox. You've sort of, I think we're in a state where it's like NoPixel is kind of like, it was almost like a pre-dev menu state. And then, you know, Buddha and Co. started rolling out dev menus to a few people, me and Kat being some of them. How have you noticed it changing the role play at all? Like, how is it from like your perspective as someone who gets free, I'll just say you get free guns spawned in for you for some events. Yeah. How is it?
Oh, dude, it's so much better because if you have people that can do that for you, it changes everything because it takes away from having to be like, okay, I'm gonna spend today and just go run sanitation and go make some money and I lost all of it. Fuck. Yeah, let's go try this. You know, like you can focus on role play and focus on whatever story you're telling, right? With that comfort of knowing somebody's gonna help you out. With what you need at the end of it, right? So people like you and Cap, what a blessing to have around because without that, yeah, like you said, it makes things way more difficult. And Cap, I had no idea what you had to go through before with your cinematic gun drops and how much it cost. Oh, man, props to you, dude, because myself, I don't think I would be able to handle that. A big props to you for even actually putting the time and effort into that because damn, man, damn.
I will be the first to say that a big difference between it's like, yeah, we might both have a dev menu, but I am joking with the nepotism thing, but like that's like a little bit true. I mean, to be fair, it's also because no, I mean it's literally true. Well, it's also because like, well, I've known Buddha for a while. I think part of it's also because maybe because of my experience in game dev. I don't know. I'm sure there's another good reason that will be explained at some point in time, but I never actually like put in the work. Cap, you actually put in the work to sort of, and when I say like I never did, what I mean by that is when I was doing like actually planning heists for people or doing interesting things like that, I wasn't doing it nearly as frequently as Cap. And I was largely relying on production, Dimoke, and you know, people like Chrysalis and like other people who were supporting me to do that because I'm just notoriously lazy. Yeah. So honestly, to everyone in the chat, we need some claps in the chat for Cap because you actually have like been putting in the work for so long, and then to get this, like, hey.
I appreciate that, man. It's yeah. I mean, when Buddha DM'd me and Green lit it, I was just like, wow, you know. So I think definitely, and when it comes to roleplay, that is the biggest sort of achievement. And you know, my main goal is, I mean, I'm sure you guys know, like I always do things for the other people, right? So like having this just makes it so much easier, man. So much easier.
Very rewarding. It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
And one thing that I have not actually seen come forward from you, but I know it's always been a concern about these. And this is what we've talked about in previous episodes of the podcast, which is like, I feel like this idea of whitelisting certain privileges might go a little too far, but there's almost something that like, okay, if you give someone a dev menu, like that far, like you literally have cheats, you can break the game, do all this. It almost makes it so it's like, they're not going to abuse it, if that makes sense. Like if you give someone like a restaurant or some access to something, they can kind of softly abuse it to like get money or an advantage, right? Whereas like if you just give someone a straight up menu, it's like it would be so obvious if they abused it, right? So I'm curious your thoughts on that, because I feel like since the dev menus have come in, I haven't seen, except for me spawning in whiskey on Clay Kona, which granted did get him fired, and cigarettes on me. I will admit I spawn in there. I do use it a little bit. I'll admit I do use it to spawn in some props just for fun that are for me. But besides that, I haven't really seen anyone like use it in a bad way.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to only use it obviously with the whole DM character, right? I like if I'm playing Pigeon, I'll probably never get it out unless I'm like trolling, making someone fly away, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I tend to only strictly use it for the whole DM sort of situation. But I think if people can trust you to have a menu, there's no way they would ever think you would. It would just be stupid to even abuse it even by one bit, right? Like it'll be very, very silly to do that. But
The DM thing is the faceless thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So obviously, I'll only use the menu when I'm on the when I'm doing the faceless type of stuff.
So it's funny because we actually do have a difference there. So role play wise, it made sense for it to be Mickey as as a character that did like some of the heist stuff. But a decision me and Demo made when we were creating the lore for it was we actually made it so that like it was a negative, in role play, it's a negative thing for Mickey, as in like it is he is in debt by it and therefore is like actually fucked. So what I didn't want to do was have like, oh, here is a known character in the server that is now more powerful because of this thing. In reality, It's, hey, here's a known character in the server that actually has like a fucking target on his back because he fucked up, right? How do you ever feel limited by the fact that it's like only that one character that you do this stuff on, or like to be fair, you make a lot of these missions. I feel like you're a very busy person.
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that because lore-wise 3.0 faceless was Pigeon, and like I felt like it, and then when I obviously 4.0 happened, I kind of transitioned it into more of like a dungeon master type thing. So like, I didn't really want to feel. I wouldn't feel right it being Pigeon being this all powerful character, right? So like, I definitely, it's a whole new character, whole new sort of lore behind it, and I feel like as a dungeon master, if you have these tools, and you're the RP behind it, you're this powerful guy, powerful org. It should never be the main character you play, because people just get lost in it, right? So that is the decision I made. Is like I dropped it from Pigeon. I don't want any ties from that, because that is my main character. I mean, to be fair, I don't even play Pigeon anymore. I'm more I shelf Pigeon to make sure the roleplay is everywhere with the whole faceless. Yeah, I feel like if you are a dungeon master, the character shouldn't be the main character you always on. Obviously, it all depends on the storyline. For example, you, Blau, your storyline is Mickey's broke. You need money. You're not spawning in tanks, killing everybody. So yeah, that is one of the massive reasons why I didn't include Pigeon within the whole faceless thing, because I wouldn't feel. Wait, why are you laughing? Wait, what happened? Wait.
No. Actually, well, it's funny you mentioned that. I kind of have a bit going on where Mickey. Well, it's funny, but I literally do spawn in tanks. I have a long going bit of promising. Well, it's because for Chatterbox's mission, one of the you tell the story, Chatterbox, because you're the one who requested it.
I was like, he's like, you can request items you need and we'll get them to you. So I asked for a bunch of guns and some other stuff, right? But as a troll, I asked for a tank, right? And he's like, yeah, I'll put it on the list. And when we showed up to do a pickup, he goes, yeah, so the tank is right here. And I was like, there's no way this guy actually spawned in a tank. But he goes on with this bit that, fuck, where's the keys? Where's the key? So he's like, you go do your mission. I'll find the keys and I'll bring the tank there for you guys. So he essentially waited till we all got clapped and arrested, and then he goes, "Oh, I found the keys," and drives the tank into the ocean. And then ever since, he's just been showing up with his tank, saying, "Oh, there's an issue with it. I'm gonna go park it up in this hill or something like that." So that, yeah, there is a bit. He is spawning in tanks.
I literally do. Yeah,
showing up with them.
I spawn in tanks. I just never use them. I just do it for a bit.
Yeah. Speaking of tanks, I did a faceless mission the other day, and I got as I was doing it, I got told that Buddha spawned a tank, and just started just ramming cops, and then like he got caught, but he RPD was like AI controlled, so like yeah, that was that had me dying. So could I a kind of good idea, AI controlled tanks. Might have to utilize that.
There's also
yeah.
with Buddha, there's also some funny like almost devception going on, because for one of my, I learned Buddha like kind of like near the end of his stream will just kind of like pull up his. I feel like it's Buddha, so he's way more cavalier about it. He'll just pull it up to like go like see what people are doing in the server and just like go stalk them. And I was doing like an investigation of the vault and like role playing that we were like looking to see how to break into the vault, and Buddha was just following me in ghost mode. And then like I was like rolling like D20s to like unlock doors, and he'd unlock them for me if I rolled high enough. And then he also just 911 the cops. They ended up showing up to us, right? And it was just really cool to like, I don't know. It was a fun little surprise. But I think that's something else I want to ask you about, Caps. Like, what kind of like other like little things are you doing? Because one of my, I think, favorite things with these kind of quest giver stuff is not even the quest giving, but like the little bits of role play you can add.
Yeah.
Just by like following someone for a little bit and just having the world interact with them more.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, for me personally, when it comes to roleplay, even in real life, it's always the little things. So, for example, there was a massive event the besties did, so like I spawned in, like a stage to make it more immersive, right? So lights, this, that. I feel like little things like that just makes it just 10 times better. It's always the small things.
Yeah.
The whole following thing, I something I cloak around, and like I see what someone's doing. I try to do some like add to their role play. It just makes it makes the world feel more realistic. One of the main things I'm doing, I don't want to spoil it in case you guys haven't experienced it, but as a faceless, I've spawned these radios around the city, and they sometimes just I cloak no clip. It just plays like things that are happening in real time within the world of roleplay. So that's one cool thing I've been doing.
Wait, that's sick.
Yeah, so like it's heavily faces related. So for example, I spawned one in the marshal's office, and Dark, who have a heavy arc with the faceless, I would sometimes cook up a news article that says breaking news. Last week we had increased military aircrafts. No one knows where this is coming from. People think it's faces related. Blah blah blah. It just adds more to the sort of world of roleplay. And I've done that for like Civs, with the whole Epsilon people, obviously Buddha. I'm trying to expand on that actually to get more people involved. Try to make the whole city
cool. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been happening the last like 2 months. It's been pretty cool. It's been pretty fun,
Yeah, and tell us more about like how you imagine, like how you came up with this concept of the faceless, and like how you see it like interact, because it's now pretty entrenched with what I would say is like the NoPixel lore.
Yeah, faceless. It started in 3.0 as a sort of, rather than Pigeon going around saying hello, I got a mission for you, I kind of wanted to do it as like a whole different thing, right? So 3.0. I would like dress up in these suits and these skull masks, give out these hitman contracts, all that type of stuff, right? So that's what I did in 3.0. That's where it basically was a group that I made that quote unquote isn't Pigeon, but it is obviously, that would just give out these cool contracts, right? Make it unique, all that kind of good stuff. 4.0 changed it all in terms of like a massive lore behind it, whole different way of it being run. Obviously, Pigeon's not involved. So, yeah. But the idea came from 3.0. So, Faces was around since 3.0, but it was very different type of thing,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the main goal was for, rather than, Pigeon gave me a mission. Ooh, the Faceless. They contacted me, pinged me to a location, gave me this contract. I got to kill someone. It just adds more immersion rather than it being, I guess pigeon. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I like that the way you've done it is like yours is like typically much more serious and is like a deeper kind of connected lore thing. I will be so honest with you. The way you did like some of your stuff with Faceless actually inspired what me and Dimo cooked up. And then, but we actually wanted to very much differentiate what we're doing from yours. So like we actually and the other thing is like, because previously there was also like the puppets. If you guys remember when like GTA Wise Guy ran that, and what I realized was like I can't have like too many like kind of serious like shadow work and like technically whatever we haven't even fully figured out the lore for the heist masters that give Mickey these things, but I also saw the way you did yours with like especially when it relates to like hit contracts or getting weapons and stuff like that. We were like, okay, let's do ours like much more lighthearted. Let's do ours kind of like Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12 style. Like they're just not too deep. They're just like, hey, here's a little heist. There's not like crazy lore tied to it. Do you ever find it like tough to have to like connect in the deeper lore of your missions with stuff?
Yeah. So so when I first started giving these missions out earlier, like a couple months ago, I used to get everyone in my chat saying, yo, give this guy a mission, this guy a mission. The thing I wanted to do is make sure every mission meant something. So that is hard creating, because I always want to do the random missions here and there, fun little thing. But when it comes to the faces, I always, everything right now is linked. Things that happened in October is literally coming to fruition last week. That's how like deep the kind of the lore and the kind of multi-layered onion thing that we've cooked here. But it does get hard because it's like there's only so much you can do to make it all linked together. Whereas you just want to give a cool little mission out to like this gang. You know what I mean? So that does come as a problem sometimes. But I do try my best to try link it all together, which I think has been happening right now. So, but obviously I love the kind of lighthearted, crazy, like one sort of, like a mini episode that you guys do, right? Like a massive episode of crazy heist. Nothing ties back to it in terms of like lore. Obviously, it might just, the PD might be enrolled, but like it's like crazy things. Episode 1 done. That's what I would like to do. But obviously, the Faceless is like I try to make everything like intertwined with each other. I love the kind of multi-layered story. I love that. Like how one small thing foreshadows and matters, in 3 weeks from now. That's the kind of beauty about it all.
I mean, I'll just say, I love that you do that so that I don't have to do that. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. It's literally because I'm like, it's like, I know someone else has a dev menu and they're doing a bunch of like way more in-depth lore that's connected. And I'm like, cool, I can keep mine a little lighter. And now to you, Chatterbox, because I'm open to them connecting to stuff. And this, again, I had to learn from you on this, Capt, because randomly in roleplay, Chatterbox, threw a curveball at me and I had to yes and it and actually then tie it into some deeper stories. And so I've been learning then from you, Cap, for like, oh, okay, how do we now take that more seriously and like do some cool shit with it? So, yeah, by the way, like Cap, I am serious when I say like the stuff I've been doing for Chatterbox is like, it's like 90, it's like, I can't even, it's like, I'd say 95% inspired by what you do. And I'd borderline say I just like am stealing / copying your formulas to like make it really cool. So.
Well, if you need any help, you let me know. I'm always down.
Oh, no. This is the one I think I meant messaged. Well, actually you're helping me with another one, but this is also one I'll need your help with.
Yeah, I mean, also with the whole menu as well. I like to. I mean, I guess same with you, Blau. Like we love to enable roleplay. So like a lot of people have like DM me saying, "Yo, can you help me with this?" And I just it's fun. Being in that position where you have the ability to enable people's roleplay and make them shine, all that kind of good stuff. So that's another thing, right? It's like it's good to inspire people and like just everyone having fun at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. So
Well, look, another thing you guys could do too, right? Is
yeah,
like, like you like with the faceless, right? You want everything to mean something and attach somewhere, right? But like another cool thing you guys could do is like sometimes you guys could just make like throwaway like quest characters, right? Like that are complete flukes that people run into, right? So like for example, you got this weird character like some crackhead looking guy in a hoodie, right? Just standing in a fucking alleyway somewhere like in Polito or Sandy or Grapeseed, right? Just somewhere random that somebody might just walk by, right? And you're just like, hey, come here, right? And you're like, you want to make a little bit of bread, right? And just send them to go do some crazy like some stupid little mission, right? But that has potential of them getting screwed over. But if they don't, they get a little bit of cheddar from it, right? Instead of just going to do some like your typical like grinding job and shit like that, right? If you ever get bored, right, you could just do something like that, right? And it's not even just like thinking, who can I give this to? It's just whoever kind of just shows up, right?
Yeah.
yeah, you're not wrong. I
Random
actually
ass civ, right? Like you never
that's
know.
sick. That's a very mini missions that are not deep lore but also fun for the character involved, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's just
exactly.
something exciting to come because somebody will be like, what the hell is this? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So
And
like I know I did a death race. Well, I mean, it's not called a death race, but I guess everyone's calling it a death race. So that's what something similar to what you're saying. Doing it with Forehead. Me and Forehead met new characters, and like we're like doing these mini like boosting missions. So it's very different from the Faceless. It's not like deep lore heavy, but like there's still a story behind it, but it's also very different, very fun. It's not your regular boost. You go to a random ass NPC, you shoot them, you go. It's very like, okay, you take this car, now you're followed by fucking 7 blacked out bikes. You got to do some crazy shit. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I mean that. But what you said is actually pretty cool. Just some random ass guy someone just walks into, that'd be actually sick.
Yeah, no,
And that's
there's no
very cool.
history behind it, right? Like
Yeah,
it's just like,
exactly.
and then you're just testing that role player, right?
Yeah.
How are they going to respond to that? Like, no, call the cops
Yeah.
on you, or they're going to be like, okay, yeah, you know what, I could use, yeah, okay, what do you got, right? Just to see what people do, right? It could cause so much like different shit that you wouldn't expect because it's not a like you don't know who it is, right? They don't know who you are. It's just the two random people coming together and seeing what happens, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah, exactly. And then see how they, because for me, I love like improv, right? So like we'll see how they see how they react. Are they gonna go? Are they gonna run with it? Are they gonna do some other shit? Are they just gonna be like, no, I'm scared, goodbye? Like that's fun seeing how people react to those kind of situations.
yeah. It's like, and the way I've tried to explain that to you is
But I
like,
think
you're muted,
Blau.
Blau.
Nice.
no, that's awesome. No, I love that. That's awesome for me. No, it's fine. So I also did a similar thing. Great, but Chatty, I like that you said like doing it on random characters because I want to not do it. I did it on Mickey just for fun, like to kind of almost test it out. Where like I was giving some random criminals jobs, but it was like, yo, if you can get a police officer like handcuffed to the stripper pole at Vanilla Unicorn, I'll give you $50,000. And it was like Mickey like testing out, and I basically set like 3, and people maybe didn't hear about it because the groups I set off to do this it wasn't Hades, it wasn't Cyprus, it was like 3 random groups of criminals that I sent off on these kind of very little janky missions to go do stuff, and I'd pay them money to do it as Mickey like trying to find people to do his bigger jobs. But I actually like your idea of making just some random characters to like do little things like that. I think the only downside to that is like me, and then I role play a lot with Dimok. Me and Dimok are not very good at like making random characters. I just when have I ever been known to just make a random character and fuck around with people, right? So that's no, I'm kidding. I'm literally stealing that idea and doing that. So Dimok's actually messaged me about this, that we need to do more of these like random one-off ones.
Here's an example of just something stupid, right? You can go, there's different levels of things you can do, right? Now I'll give you an SBS kind of mission, right? So I got a character named David Durag, okay? So let's say you want to use that guy to give the mission, right? Something like that, right? He'd be like, hey, buddy, come here. Fake man, fucking broke, man. You get in there and you fucking get me a couple of triple patties from the bun there. I get you in something, right? And then you have something with your dev pound that you can give them, right, in exchange for them going to get you something stupid, right? It's just stupid little things. It doesn't have to be anything crazy either. It's all levels of stuff that like that wouldn't have too much of a consequence too, especially if it's like a new player. Because bro, new players would always appreciate stuff like that. Yes. It's hard for them right now to come in and find things to do, and then just like, what the hell is this? Just something gets just thrown on their lap like that. People would love that, dude. Imagine if it was your first time playing on the server and that happened to you,
dude.
Because you walked in the right place at the right time. You're like, what just happened?
Yeah, I have and Cap, I do have a follow-up question for what plans you can tell us about. But so I do have a really big kind of like high level, high visibility heist planned for Mickey to give to the OG Clean Boys. After that one, I do kind of want to do a little arc like this with maybe random characters where I'm like, yeah, just doing like little small time missions would be super fun. Instead of a big bank robbery, big attack helicopters, doing like, sell this crack for me, man. I don't know, like honestly, do it. What would be really funny is just doing some like, I want to do like way more like, what would just be really cool? Just like fucking dev menuing some like player to player drug sales. Like getting people to like sell drugs for you, but it's like you can't go and do the like marijuana like or whatever the weed fucking baggies to. It's like you have to sell these to other players and then you'll pay them for it. Would be sick. Schedule one role play.
That would be sick. Yeah.
So back in so I did something similar. It's not like it was still like pigeon, but I don't know if Chatterbox was actually one of them. I know a lot of the clowns were involved. 3.0, I used to do these things called mule drops. So I would get either a random civ, get them involved in the RP, or like someone that's like close with the criminal underworld. Rather than me going to the drop with the customer and giving them the drugs, what I would do is get the for example, I'll get Bob to meet the Colombian cartel, grab the van, take the van to the customer pays that guy, the guy comes back to the cartel, he takes a cut. So like I made like a heavy roleplay sort of meth run, you could say, through roleplay. Obviously there's no cops involved, but that would be cool if there was. But yeah, the little things like that, I do want to bring that back actually. Having these mule drops. So instead of like the faceless meeting XYZ with the supplies, getting someone involved, having them be the mule, driving the van to A to B, it creates RP for them. Also, imagine they get fucking, wait, sorry, can I swear? Oops, sorry.
Oh yeah, you swear. We don't care.
Imagine like, imagine like cops like, imagine cops just like chasing that van for like 100 rifle bodies or something. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, little mini things like that is always cool because I think, as a role player myself, obviously, of course, I think the best thing about roleplay is receiving quests. I think everyone loves that.
Yeah.
Like always getting that anonymous phone call. A quest, like receiving a quest is always, I don't think anyone would say no to receiving a quest, right? So
it's even just it's like those days where you
surprised though.
True. But it's like those days where you wake up and like your day is just filled with little side quests that you're doing for people. And I think the thing about like, I actually think the thing about like quest givers that like have like kind of more like just resources and tool to facilitate them, I actually think it encourages it just more naturally, because it's almost like, and correct if I'm wrong, like Chatty, but it's almost like if I'm giving you gear or like weapons or something for like some job, you're then more inclined, like you said, you were more inclined to probably like, I'm going to have more people on this job. I'm going to include more people in there. It's like, I feel like a lot of times it then becomes easier for the person getting that to involve more people. Cause it's like, it's almost like, well, hey, I didn't have to grind 3 days for this gun. I'm way less attached to it. Now I can like do more with it.
I was able to get people to come back to NoPixel for that event just because I was more, you set me up so much better that I was like, I can just call people in, just come have fun, right? And people were like, yeah. So like we had people come in like that. I was like, here, just passing stuff out, right? and everybody got shot together, and it was great. It was one of the funnest days we had in a while. Like, just because you get to see people you don't get to see much, right? It was easier for me to make that happen, right? Because I'm like, I have the ability here, I have stuff. I don't have to I don't have to grind for hours to get this stuff now. I can just get it and give it, right? And it just created so much fun.
Yeah, and I mean, like, obviously there's, and I'm curious for both of your opinions on this, which is, okay, we've talked about a lot of the pros. There are cons to it, and maybe some people have pointed out. Funny enough, in this conversation, just from what I'm learning, is like, Capped uses the menu like really, really well. I don't use the menu enough, or when I do, I mostly just use it for my friends. So therefore, I'm just a nepo baby and giving nepotism. But I don't think either of us have gotten to the point where it's been too disruptive. But what do you guys think about like dev menus and the quest givers? Like, where is the line and the balance? Because it's like, yeah, some people are actually grinding for guns and supplies. How do you balance out, giving groups certain tools and stuff versus, other groups that it's like, hey, they have to fucking hustle and kind of, it's basically they have to MMO for this, whereas this group just gets to role play for it. How do you balance that out?
Just to Chatty or to
both of you, actually. So you can start with you, Cap. Yeah.
I mean that is so. That again, yeah. Balancing out is very hard. That's why I always, the main goal of what I've done is everybody's involved. There's no like I've tried my hardest to get everybody involved. People that are not quote unquote less known within the city. That's my cup of tea. My target audience is the people that are not like out there, right? So, for example, when the Faces arc first started picking up like crazy in October, I started heavy RP with a gang called Tripaz, which is Peppo people, Peppo and very good RPers. They never did, they weren't about the shooting. They never did, cargo, this, that. They were very storyline heavy, right? So like, it made sense for me to, they complete a mission, they get 10 SMGs, right? It made sense because obviously, otherwise they're never gonna get those 10 SMGs ever. Yeah, balancing definitely is. I feel like you try your best to involve everybody, but like obviously target those who are are not like 20,000 deep within their crew, that don't have the time to like grind this, grind that, or have the ability to like buy certain products, and like they're not like less known and don't have that kind of that don't experience these fun things. That's why I love targeting those kind of like quote unquote smaller time criminals type of thing.
Right.
So
yeah. Yeah, I think my opinion is pretty much like bang on to what he's talking about. Like it's too like it's kind of just looking at and seeing what people are kind of doing and the direction that they'll probably go with what you're gonna give them, right? Like I mean, for us too, like the stuff that we got was like the clowns got was for the conflict with mimes, right? But the mimes are also getting things too, right? But at the end of the day, us getting the benefit of getting things spawned in, it's looking at the outcome of what could happen, right? What are we winning at the end? All we're winning is that RP scene of the story that we're telling, and not winning anything else, right? Like we're not taking things from them, right? It's all just story at the end of the day, right? But if you're giving things to other groups in the city that are actually in it to build their empire, whatever their role play is, right? Like, for example, like you're trying to be a strong gang, but now you got this perk, right? I think if you're gonna do that for them, you got to kind of look at too of who their enemies are and try to give them something as well to try to balance that as well, right? Just spread it out, but
yeah, you actually remind me of something. That's actually, yeah, you actually remind me of something. There was actually a time where I was gonna do a mission for, I believe, the manor, and at the same time, they were started a war with, I believe, Hades. So like I kind of stopped. I did, and the prize for manor was gonna give him like 10 LMGs, which they most likely would have used in a war. So I kind of like just stopped. I kind of like I didn't want to give them the 10 LMGs because it just wouldn't. I know for a fact these guys would use that in the war, right? So I kind of like notice that they're at war.
Which, by the way, is fine, right? Like that's their role.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah, completely fine. But at the same time, I don't want to be the cause for like, quote unquote, unfair advantage or whatever, right? But like, which is completely fine. Man, I used it, whatever. That's
It's
fine.
because the man
But,
is
like,
British.
But yeah,
We know
but
why.
listen,
Yeah.
dude. Another alternative there is finding a way to leak that you're going to be giving these things to the other side
Yeah,
now, and trying to
exactly.
make something that meets in the middle that they can both try to get to it first, right? You just got to figure it
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah.
Instead of, if you didn't want to just stop it, right? So now you're getting whoever they're in war with. Now it's like, hey, whoever gets it now.
Fair game. Exactly.
More spice, right?
Yeah, and I do think a lot of it is what you were saying, Chatterbox. It's like it's kind of like, hey, like realize how they're going to use it. Like a lot of the stuff is like we're spawning in things, guns, vehicles, whatever it is, but it's largely for the role play scene. It's for that, like almost like you're capturing a movie. And the way I always think about it is like, yeah, sure, it's still improv, but it's like an improv class where instead of people just purely pantomiming stuff out, sorry, not to trigger any of the clown viewers, but pantomiming stuff, right? That was a poor mime joke. But it's like, hey, like now we have props for this improv class. It's like, okay, they're just and the props can then add to the immersion, right? Like someone pretending to swing a hammer might not be as immersive as someone with an actual, swinging a hammer, right? And yeah, Captain, I was gonna say, we definitely do different stuff. I will be very direct with you guys. The way I do sort of my interactions is, Cap's going like way more with like some smaller groups, building stuff up from there. I've been just going with like big people that I know, honestly, because it's like, it's more of a comfort thing while I learn some of this. That's why I've been doing stuff with, Chatterbox or like Lysium from Hades, almost as a way of like doing it comfortably with people I know who, like, if I fuck them over, because weirdly enough, right now, my current record has been, despite everything that I have spawned into the city for criminals, I have basically negatively impacted the like criminal economy by like I've like minus 5 million. Like all of my missions have like anyone thinking that I am. So right now it is true. I have been giving roleplay to friends, but from the MMO perspective, I've actually like cut out like 5 million from the criminal side because they keep getting caught with insane fucking shit. So, yeah, I haven't really been, but I think that's okay. Cause like, again, it's like, I don't like, for me, I just don't care if who gets the guns or the money afterwards. I'm like, damn, was that day fun to watch? Was that day fun to role play in?
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
you
the
just brought me
sniper.
back, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, we got locked up, and Happy's like, Chatterbox, you know how much fucking money, how much the fucking fine is for getting caught with a sniper rifle? I'm like, what, like 200 grand? He goes, $1 million fucking dollars.
dude. Yeah, Cap. Everyone. So I've been doing this thing where like, I'll. And by the way, I've messaged Cap about this. The lore I actually want to tie in is that the group that supplies the heist masters with like gear for a mission is actually the Faceless. So if you're like, where are you getting a sniper rifle imported from? It's actually the Faceless that are running arms smuggling and like smuggling that in for some of these. Yeah, Captain, basically give them like a list of things they want for the missions. And I'll kind of just yes and it and do as much as I can. So far, most people have asked for a sniper rifle. And so far, the sniper rifle has caused. Oh, because Harry got caught with it too.
Wait, is it actually $1 million fine? That's insane.
The sniper rifles alone have caused $2 million in fine.
Oh my!
And that doesn't even come to Hades' mission where they lost about $3 million on their mission.
Oh my!
Like in terms of fines and assets.
The thing I loved about it too is because like we gave it to Happy, knowing that like if Happy gets caught with it, there's gonna be roleplay that comes from it, and like he had to go through this divorce arc and all this shit. It was it was so funny.
Oh
yeah, man. I think a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people take like viewers, RPs, whatever. People take a lot of things like at face value where they don't realize how much domino effect RP can happen, like what you just said. Cool. Happy got caught. Now imagine him doing some crazy, this like arc where he's just mad, sad with Windsong. He's trying to make his debt back. There's so much RP that can happen from a very small moment, which is
and
the
he
beauty.
did do that, bro. Like he went from gotta get this money back because Windsong's pissed to and at the same time it's like I don't give a fuck anymore. It was awesome. The following weeks after that mission was so good.
Yeah, some people have said that I don't believe this, but I had people yelling at me that the breakup of Hades, one of the dominoes that put that into play was them failing at the mission because it put them so badly into debt. And I'm like, that's cool because you know what? Listen, I'm of the opinion that any week that we're in the server and something different happens is good. Anything different.
Yeah.
It's just like new stories, new things happening, new interactions. So, yeah, I like doing that. It's funny though. I genuinely think from the conversation here on the podcast, the more we talk to Capt about this Chatterbox, the more I'm like, thank God he exists as like the like paragon of like good usage of the dev panel to allow me to do my like kind of fuckery with it. Like, thank God, Cap. That I want you to know it is like you carry with it. I do dumb shit. So I mean, like honestly, you deserve all the praise.
Nah,
Absolutely,
man. Do you have any? Actually, well, never mind. I don't think you can. Do you have any big plans with your heist stuff coming up?
Yeah. I mean, so yeah. I was gonna ask you about this, like cool things coming up as well as any stuff from.
Go ahead.
Oh, you can put it back on real quick. Oh. Well, and then I'll have you take them off. But I'll say the one, there is a cool one that we're doing with the first one I was gonna say was we are bringing back the OG Clean Boys for a job, and a lot of people, I think there was a lot of people like this doesn't make sense story wise. Why would this character do this? Listen, sometimes. Like, I hear you. Sometimes things don't make sense. Sometimes you do it for a good old nostalgia. Sometimes you do it just because it's a fun little collab to do. And I was like, damn. And I'm going to be so honest. A part of it was kind of selfish because back when I was in Changgang, I used to love watching the heist that the Clean Boys would do. I was like a Clean Boy heist fan. And so I'm like, yeah, I want to fucking watch them do it again. That sounds sick. I mean, the OG4 of just Ray, Tony, and Lang. So I was like, fuck it, let's do a little throwback. Like that just sounds cool. So there's that, and that's like much more of the lighthearted one. And then on the spicier one, headphones off.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Mickey is going to have to take Chatterbox to Raymond's grave. I did talk to Valkyrie, and she is totally cool. She is officially fully permitted the character. And I will announce that in the OOC global chat that Raymond is dead. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Chill. Jokes, guys. But that's one I'm not going to reveal even to chat. Yeah, headphones back on. Yeah. I wanted to see his reaction reading the chat.
I was looking at the chat and everybody was like, "What the fuck?" And now they're throwing tomatoes.
No, I was bad. I'll tell you what. It's not what's happening. I was like, guys, yeah, Mickey has to lead a Chatterbox to Raymond's grave, actually, because I did confirm that she's dead, which didn't. No, but I mean, Cap, I'll tell you about this. This was the curveball that was thrown at me was, while doing one of these missions then for Chatterbox he was like, I'll only do it if you can help me find Raymond, any information about her. And I'm like, I'm a yes-ander. So I was like, fuck it, sure. All I'll say is I've been in touch with Valkyrie. That's it. And I think we would intentionally just keep it quiet from everyone. So it's a surprise for everyone. and that's all. But it's cool though, because Cap, like you said, it's like sometimes you have those like, hey, this is a one-off. The Clean Boys are coming back together for a heist, for some nostalgia fun. And then on the other hand, it's like, hey, this is actually exciting. And I'm also trying to take that one very seriously to the point where, Cap, I'm going to actually ask you for help on it, because I want to like do right by the role players involved in that story. So then to you, Cap, what do you got cooking that you can share? Unless you don't want to share.
So I can tell you what I was cooking for the last 3 weeks. So I spent like 30-40 hours straight cooking a website. Where here's the beauty of it. The website's actually in the game. So in the server. So the connects of the faceless, the assets. I created this whole thing where a dev hit me up. He's like, "Yo, by the way, we can do this." I'm like, "Whoa, really?" So it wasn't actually any dev help. All they've done is create this chip which links to the website I made. Right. So right now, assets of the faceless, to make it more immersive. I mean, it's better. I'll just send you screenshots like after this. But basically, I've made this whole website that shows like the operation of the faceless. Like, you can make orders through the app. You can track people down. You can see all the operations that you've been a part of since day one in the faceless. So that's what I was been cooking for the last month. That took a lot of bloody work. But the fact that it's in the bloody server is insane.
That is sick.
Insane.
No, like, you don't need to go your other monitor and look at it. The fact that it's a chip, and what makes it even crazy, imagine when cops get hold of that. How cool! Like a role play coming out of that would be insane.
Fuck, I can't wait to
yes,
snitch. Oh my
dude.
god.
Yeah, but I'm cooking up some cool things to try to get cops involved in that, because once they receive that chip, like there's a lot of things on that chip, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's what I've been cooking. My biggest problem, because I don't really stream a lot of Faces stuff on purpose, because I like to meta guard. Like, there's something really cool that I've cooked for the last month or two. I just cannot. It's like what you're saying with like Valkyrie, right? I cannot say. It's really cool, and I feel like, I mean, I got a question for you actually. I mean, for both of you, like, do you find meta guarding hard? Because like I just want to always say what's happening, but I always held myself back, because I feel like it's beneficial for the viewers when they're like, oh shit, what the hell? Also, role players have no idea what's about to happen. I feel like it's very effective, but at the same time, it's so hard to do sometimes, to meta guard certain situations. Like, do you find it hard, Chaddy?
Not really. 'Cause I don't give a fuck. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have anything that's like runs
Yeah.
deep, like nowhere, not even remotely close as deep as what you got, right? So it's like, yeah, like it's what you and I do is totally separate, bro. You have like some crazy operations, deep stuff going on. Like mine's all like kind of day by day, like like
Exactly.
there's no real plan behind anything. It's just happening, right? So I have nothing to guard because I don't know anything. Like, it's just kind of randomly happening. It's all improv. To the T. Like you're pushing a story, but you don't like. I'm just rolling with whatever happens, right? There's no like. There's nothing to protect because I don't know what to protect. I don't have anything like that, right?
I'll interrupt you and just say this, and Cap, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Probably some of my favorite people then to do these things for are the chatterboxes of the roleplay world, because you are just like, and what I mean by that, no, I'm just like, you are so good at just a random insane situation that can come up before you, and the way you role play it and roll with it, it doesn't matter if it's the mechanics of the game or expected in NoPixel or not. You just go with it. And so it makes it way easier for someone like me or Capt to go and make something like, because we're like kind of like we're like presenting you the improv scene. We're giving you the props for that improv scene. It's way easier for us to go to you and just be like, yeah, fuck it, here you go, do so, and we can trust then that you'll just roll with it. And that's actually like, and there's obviously it's easy for a lot of people, but there's some people where it's like, Man, like, even when like I like randomly one time just flew in on a helicopter and your reaction from the character was just so good for something like that. There's just like a lot of like, there's people that just take those breadcrumbs or, you know, sometimes attack helicopters that we throw at them really well. So huge prop to you on that. So it's like you need both. You need the people who are like Cap, where he's like behind the scenes tinkering, planning something, keeping it secret. And then you need, you know, yourself, Chatterbox, someone where it's like they can just genuinely react to some crazy shit that someone's cooked up. So do we have the W glaze sound, Dimok?
Oh, wait, hold it. Yeah, wait, I'm just gonna have to pull that.
Yeah, can we pull up the W glaze sound? Sorry.
You have a W glaze sound.
Yeah.
Talk about. Yeah, sorry, oh my god, I didn't have this ready.
Production, what's going on here, man?
Yeah, Dimok's been kind of slacking, I'm not gonna lie. We did do 2 weeks in a row, which isn't normal, so.
What do you mean? What do you mean? How about hockey? How about that hockey? You see the game? But the Leafs, the Maple guys, or
the Maple guys? Yeah, they suck.
Oh.
Okay, wait. While Dimok finds that, I will just briefly give a quick hockey take. Chatterbox, I need to hear this on you. Capped, you're not gonna know what the fuck we're talking about. I just think the Florida Panthers might actually just be a genuinely insanely good team.
They're a powerhouse, right? But they will be stopped by McJesus.
Okay, he's got to get through Dallas first there, buddy.
Listen, bro. They're the comeback kids, dude. They can go down 3-0 in the series and still win it. You know, last year, history's gonna repeat itself, bro. They're going to the finals, man. And those kitties are getting put in the kennel. All right, that's it.
All right, timer's up. Dimok, did you find the W glaze?
Glaze alert!
Does it say glaze alert?
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, that's what it is. Because we were glazing so much. Hey, look at that.
Glaze alert!
Pretty good, huh?
Bait.
Thank you for that. That's
Oh, welcome.
so pleasant. Love that. Chatterbox, you say you kind of just roll with the punches on stuff, and you don't necessarily like plan too much out. Do you? I have a question. Do you ever feel like sometimes there's like, do you ever feel overwhelmed by like too many things going on in roleplay for you? Because there's been times where I've messaged you where I'm like, oh, like we're gonna be doing. I think when we were planning like the high street and stuff, I was like, oh, we're gonna maybe do it this day, and you're like, hey, not this day. I got like all this shit going on. Do you ever feel like there's just too much shit going on?
Well, yeah, like it never used to be like that, but it's like that now because there's a lot of moving parts in a story, right? But within the story you got going on, the people that you have, like, because you're trying to bring in a bunch of people in on it, right? They got their things going on too. So then you find yourself in a position where you need to focus on that, but also spread the love and try to help focus on what everybody else has going on too and work in that circle a little bit. And it's hard to juggle sometimes because you don't want to just be like, nah, fuck, we're just going to ignore this person or whatever. You want to try to because when people come in to help me with the arcs that I got going on, right, you want to give back to that, right? So I try to juggle a little bit so I have the opportunity to kind of role play with everybody a little bit and get in on what they got going on a little bit too, right? Because it's only fair. So then when stuff like that kind of happens, if we're able to juggle it, it's a lot better for everybody, right? So it's trying to, not only that, it's like, is this day going to be good for everybody, right? Because you want to get as many people in on it as possible, right? So it's a lot of factors, right? So it's very overwhelming, dude. Like just yesterday, like I was like, it wasn't a crazy amount going on, but there's like a lot of people that, oh, I gotta talk to you, I want to do this, gotta do that, right? And it's just like, like yesterday was overwhelming as shit. In literally a 2-hour like period, I was like, oh my god, and then it just went poof, gone. But,
I do think it's better to have like too much going on for you, like too many fucking crazy things going on than not enough, right? Like it's always better to be overwhelmed, overstimulated. So
yep. I 100% agree with that.
All right. For this next section, I have no idea if I'm going to put Dimok on the spot here. Ready? Watch this. Production. Did you prepare a special question for Cap? Yes or no? Production.
Yeah, I do have a special question for Cap.
I could have just fucked over Dimok here, by the way. I did not know if he had this before. He did that one for Burn previously. And so I was on a whim. Maybe he has a question. So yes, production's question. Put him on the spot.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for turning it over. Thank you for turning it over.
I'm also, but
Okay.
also to be fair to Demoke, the way I've asked this question and now interrupted him multiple times, I'm giving him the opportunity that if he didn't have something prepared, he now has the opportunity while I've been yapping and interrupting him to think of that question. So I am giving him a little bit of extra time in case he didn't actually have one prepared for him to bullshit it, which would test his abilities as a role player and improv person.
Please wait.
Okay. Stop. Stop.
Okay. Hello. All right. Capt. You obviously do a lot of mission-based role play, okay, and a lot of improv and stuff. Let's say you're, I want to know, okay? You have to craft a
Yeah.
mission, but you have to craft it with both Chatterbox and Mickey in mind. What are you doing? What is the mission? What are you crafting for these two, okay? Feel free to ask them for help, but I want to know what kind of mission you would
So,
create.
I'm not
mission-
helping.
a mission involving Chatterbox and Mickey, huh?
Correct, yeah.
So obviously, okay. So I think definitely has to be something just crazy, Michael Bay level type, insane type of stuff. You got the element with Mickey being this like this like what Mickey Blau, your character gives like spy vibes. I kind of like it. Give me like very like a spy undercover vibes. I don't know why. So something like, I think
Sterling Archer is one of his inspirations, actually. Like a gay Sterling Archer.
What I don't know what that is. Like a.
You
comic
don't know
show?
Archer from
Oh
well,
yeah.
from-
Oh, I've seen that. The cartoon thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen that. I think I would create something that is because the thing about Chatterbox and the clowns is they're very. They live up to their name. They're crazy people. So in roleplay, by the way, not OOC. But so I would create something where they would have to like involve a bunch of people. For example, gather 10, 15, 20 people to a certain location for a certain reason. Mickey being there with his bloody attack helicopter doing some crazy shit. That's borderline. That's what I would do. Something where the clown Chatterbox would have to involve like 20 different 30 people going around in some sort of clown van, just being insane, absolutely insane. And then we have the whole like cinematic Michael Bay type shit with the with Mickey being involved somehow, some way. That's what I would do in terms of the most basic way of putting it. Thank you
Sounds
for
like
the question.
sounds like my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That sounds fun. All right, fuck it, let's do it. No, but
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
yeah, no, I think a lot of it is like, I think that is one of the. Don't ask this question, but for me, Cap is actually one of my most favorite. I think it is one of the reasons why again, it's like a little bit of like, I get it a little bit on easier mode than you. Is like if I am doing kind of these heists or jobs, I can think of and do some things that are a little bit more like, I don't know. Like I know you do this as well, but like I kind of tailor them to the characters a little bit more because they're not as deep, right? Like when I did the robbing of the cars from the Clean Manor, I was like, okay, I'm going to do the Clean Manor as a throwback to Luciano first robbing at one time. And I was also like, oh, you know what? It's fucking Zetark on Luciano Decenza. It's a bunch of the Cyprus people. Let's just make it a like yap-based heist. They literally just have to talk their way into getting the keys and basically like, I loved that. That was probably my favorite one we've done just because it's like they literally had to talk to get all of the shit, which was super fun. And I like trying to like design them in a way where it's like it has something for those characters.
Yeah. Has like a double meaning behind it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, granted, I say that when I also made Chatterbox show off his aiming skills in GTA during his mission, but whatever.
I hate shooting.
I can't drive or shoot. Like I don't know how people do it. Like I've been playing a lot of cop recently. I don't know how these people chase people. I cannot do it. I am terrible.
That's like the only thing I'm sometimes decent at is I could drive out sometimes, but like, bro, shooting, like, dude, I'll whiff, bro. I'll just end up shooting somebody. It's one of my own people on my side. You know what I mean? It's really bad. Like we used to do this thing like in 3.0, Chatterbox used to hate William Gunner and Kyle Pred with a burning passion because they were like super corrupt to him, like bad. So he ended up snapping and he got he got 3 clowns to go with him with guns, and we kidnapped a PD tow guy and brought him to the mines. So we went way to the way back of the mines. So the cops show up, and they're like, "What are we gonna have to do to get these guys back?" And I'm like, "I want to negotiate with William Gunner and Kyle Pred." So they brought them in. So we told the hostage to run towards them, and we were just we just started shooting, right? But we had the upper hand. Like, we were ready. They weren't. Bro, I just shot. There was a clown named Miniphone. I immediately shot him right in the face. I killed him because I can't aim, dude. We got domed bad, and right from there I was like, yeah, I can't do this. And every single gunfight I've gotten since, I've either killed someone or I've gotten friendly fired. It's just my group. We're just terrible at it. Awful. The only guy that can shoot is Mr. Ratchet because he used to be a Gulag Gang, but even he's the biggest fuck up in our group too. Like,
Oh my God.
it's fun. It's fun to be a fuck up. It's fun to not be good at stuff.
Dude, some of the best content is from big disasters and calamities. Like I genuinely, I have more fun like role playing certain characters when they're just completely like fucked over, or like even playing like December as a Giga Rich character, and then when he gets robbed is just funny as fuck. I actually do. Cap, I don't know if I told you about this. I've been doing this whole thing. I don't want to leak. I'll leak it, but like I hope it doesn't get like meta. If it happens too much, I'll have to stop doing it. Whenever I play December, even if I'm like setting stuff up, and this happened, it's happened now once off stream. I just carry out a suitcase on December that the suitcase has about anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 in it, and it's kind of like a fun little event in the sense like if you find December Foos and you decide to rob him, you can rob him, and you get the. But
how much did you say it's in there?
100 to 150. However, he was randomly robbed at like a clothing store by like a biker gang, and I was off stream, and they were like so shocked that I actually like had the $150,000 in cash on me. But I think going forward in the future, though, if people rob him, though, I'm then gonna use the dev menu to just spawn in more money and be like, yo. Find this group of people and hunt them down. They fucking robbed me, and give people actual consequences for it. So.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But I love the idea. It's like a Where's Waldo kind of thing, where it's like, hey, there's just this guy in the city who might have $150,000 on him. Like that's just fun. Like it's like a mini heist. Anyways, at this time, because I have to use the restroom, and then I'm now pawning off some of my co-host responsibilities to the chat. Chat, it is time for the Q&A section and or hot takes, which Chatterbox and Cat will react to. So Cat, all you have to do when the chatters write something that you think is interesting or that really pisses you off and one guys you can call it out, respond to it. We're doing our Q&A with chat and hot takes from chat section. My favorite thing though, by the way, Cap, during this, if someone does write something where it's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot, you just don't read it. That's what I just pretend it never existed. So that's the best thing. I have to use the restroom.
I'll read the questions like that for you and put you on the spot.
Honestly, Chatterbox has been answering some good ones, some tough ones. So all right, I have to go pee. Go.
All right, chat. You know what to do. You know what to do. Start blasting Capped with like insane questions. When are we getting another Valorant tournament, Capped? Dude.
Ooh.
That is soon. We'll have to do another charity. That was really fun. That was actually really fun.
I will not be part of it for 2 reasons.
Why? You did pretty good last time, no?
Last time I got benched, and 2, just for my team to lose anyway, and 2, I uninstalled that game.
Oh man. How far do you think your cop character make it? I'm surprised. I don't know what's even happening. I don't know any laws. I don't know any road names. I'm just there for the vibes at this point. I don't know what's going on.
When did you start? When did you start your cop stuff?
Like this month, this month type of thing. Like I've had cop characters, but they've always been fired because I just never play them. Because obviously, So.
Do you find it hard?
I've been Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you know any road names? Because I do not. I've been playing GTA for 4 years.
Like 8, maybe.
I cannot name any road names.
I know more of the road names up north than I do in the city. Other than Alta Street.
Yeah, I literally have no idea about any road names. Actually, kind of, I don't know what it is. It's something.
I think the thing that you got to use most is that like little top of your screen. It tells you where you are, but like calling it out before you turn onto that shit, like
Yeah,
I wouldn't know either.
that's
Like,
exactly, yeah. That's my biggest issue is because all these cops know bloody, they know the back of their hand, but before they turn, they're already saying the road name. I'm like, what the hell?
yeah, it's dude, like, yeah, they're on point with their stuff. I'm sure it took them a long time to like, bro. Imagine like when GTA 6 RP comes out, bro. Every cop is gonna be like, we're by this tree that has 10 leaves. You know, like it's gonna be. Everybody's gonna be at ground one, so I'm looking forward to that because ain't no one can be like, how do you not know where you're at, bro? I don't know. We don't pay attention to that stuff, but like, how are you with the code names and stuff like the code names and stuff?
That's decent. It's just it's mainly just laws. I'm gonna be real. I don't even know. Let's just say
you know your case laws.
if I have my third monitor up, yeah. Otherwise I don't. Otherwise I got a clue, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, dude. I wasn't able to do it either. I was like, this sucks. It was hard.
Oh man, yeah. Cop is fun though. It's because I never played Cop, but like playing it recently, it's like, damn, you have the ability to extend an RP scenario. It's insane how much like you have the ability to either extend or just like stop a scenario just there and then. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty
Yeah.
One thing I want to do is a lot. I want to start doing like a lot of checkpoints, like DUI. Maybe get out of their
Yeah.
car, do some
Dude.
like
We
run
talked
around.
about this last week, dude. DUI checkpoints
Oh, really?
would be so
Yeah,
good.
Bro, it's like, bro, like that's so fun. Also, the use of like cones and shit. I don't know why no one really uses it, but like
Cap,
cones,
please.
barriers.
Listen, you have dev menu, okay? Then go in. You know that tunnel between Grapeseed and Polito? You can't
Yes.
turn around in there. Like you can, but like you can't just go drive around that checkpoint or on the bridge on Great Ocean. You can't drive around those things, right? When you're there, right? You could set up some fucking wicked checkpoints, bro.
You're not wrong.
Especially with your admin, you can spice it up. Like when it's dark, you could put lights up, and you could do all sorts of things, right? And
Yeah.
actually make it really immersive, bro. Please do it, man. I've been dying to see that for such a long time for cops to actually to do stuff like that because it will give me more of a reason to jump on my other character and start drinking and go through something like that just for the RP. It'd be really funny.
It's funny because in 3.0, cops used to do that all the time, and I remember I was doing a gun drop. I had like 20 guns on me, and I still stopped at the checkpoint because like I love that shit. Like it's so good RP, you know. It's like I love when people do checkpoints, but
You
I've been
stopped
trying
at
to
the
set up.
checkpoint, but you got through. I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I got through because I know they can't really like illegally, they can't search my car, but I still stopped with like 20 guns on me because I just love that kind of checkpoint shit. But
Oh yeah, dude,
yeah,
that's where you get your blood rushing. That sounds sick.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I've been wanting to do that with the cop stuff. Is like more checkpoints. Like I did it the other day. Some guy was drinking. I made like walk in a straight line. He did slash me like he's like moving left and right. It was pretty fun. So I'll do more of that kind of RP. Less like going to calls. It's more like talking to people and like doing some like pure improv type stuff.
I'm not sure if it's a thing, but I mean, I don't know if like you'd probably know, but like in the dev menu, is there like props that have like is there like any construction props that have like warning lights on it to try to kind of like warn people that there's something coming up so they don't just crash into it and mauled on you?
Yeah, no, you can. Yeah, so every prop you see, you can like use in the. So I can add like warning, warning up ahead or something like that. I think they'll have that in the game. So that is actually.
It's weird though, because like actually a lot of the things spawned in are like there's actually some that are spawned in via emo, and I haven't figured out how to do that from the dev mint. Like I don't know, there's some weird ones that are spawned in almost via emotes. It's bizarre.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What the hell?
There's some props in the world that are spawned via emotes. I don't know. There's two questions I actually want to quickly hop on, and one which I want to get your guys' reaction to. There was a question. It was like one of the first ones I actually saw right as I went to the restroom. Was someone said, "Hey, so when are we getting any women guests on the podcast?" I'm a misogynist.
I'm not.
No, production stepping in. No.
So there will never be. No, it's either that or I've only
been hanging around Ellum too much.
We've only had 2 guests on. But yeah, obviously we'll And this is the cringiest shit I do get to do sometimes, Chatterbox. What you can also do is subscribe to Roleplay Podcast and check out one of our previous episodes where we actually did an all women's episode to talk about the challenges specifically that women face in roleplay. Spoiler alert, they face a lot. There's some fucking weird ones. There was a lot of tea spilled in that. Highly recommend that episode if you want to like learn some of the shit that the women have to deal with. So, now that I've done that one episode with all those women, I don't have to do any more. So probably, yeah, again, I'm kidding. Well, obviously we'll have more women on. There was that one. And then the next one for Chatterbox and Cap, because I read this one. People were asking about how you maybe like angle a camera for a scene or make sure audience is good, almost from like a viewer perspective. I'll just briefly say my biggest roleplay ick is people who are so fucking loud or who are yelling all the time and interrupting other people talking and trying to have like a dialogue or my biggest fucking ick. So my biggest thing is trying to ensure good audio and dialogue and not capturing some fucker over here who's yelling and just constantly yapping. I'm curious about you guys though, how you set up scenes to be good for viewers.
We leave the fun house. A bunch of loud motherfuckers in there, bro, that don't let you do anything. No, I don't know. I like to go to places that are like not necessarily like really that cinematic, but more just like places no one really goes. You know, you're hiding in plain sight sometimes, right? But like, that's kind of like the places I like to go. But yeah, just for me, it's just if you want to have like a good RP conversation, I gotta get the hell away from my entire group because it's so bad. Oh my god!
I can imagine it's chaotic.
Camera placement very important as well. Your camera placement for immersion, and turn your webcam off. My opinion.
So that you can order your Uber Eats while paying attention to the conversation.
And do what Blau's doing and mute your microphone so you don't interrupt somebody.
Fuck. No, I was going to say so you can order your Uber Eats while your camera's off.
That too.
How many times do you order food while your camera's off?
0. I can't order food where I live.
Right. Forgot that you're in Narnia, Winnipeg. Cap, what about you? How do you think about like framing certain scenes, especially from like the perspective of like doing the dungeon master? Like, do you I mean,
So,
you do a lot of
yeah.
it off stream though, but like I'm curious when
So
you
yeah,
are.
when I do it on stream, I do like to. Me personally, when I watch roleplay, I view roleplay as like either like a movie or TV show, right? So, when I do stream faces stuff or like some cool stuff, I always try and make it look like a movie. So I spend like 5-6 hours every weekend looking at new soundtracks where I can correlate the soundtrack with what's happening with the cinematography, right? So last week I did this crazy mission with Buddha Talon, and the soundtrack is so like in the arc right now, the faceless are gonna go after Talon, and one of the words that the faces said was these guys can't run anymore, and the song that was playing was a song that kept repeating they can't run. It's like when I do stream, I always try and make it look like a movie. Especially with the camera I have, because I got the cinematic camera bag, so I always do try and make sure the shots and all that kind of good stuff is looking good. Even though it does break my hand because I use a controller, and you have to like really slowly move the analog stick, and it actually hurts my hand. But you gotta do what you gotta do for the cinema,
Dude,
I'm starting to realize that I'm lazy. Holy shit, dude.
Cap, I do the same thing, and it's like I know what you're talking about. Where it's like you have to like just tilt it a smidge, and then you have to hold it right there for it to do the slow pan. Oh my god!
Yes, exactly. It's so, bro. Like, my thumbs hurt, bro. Like it's like my like it does pain. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, But hopefully, yeah.
I was even going to say one of the underrated things from the dev panel is I just get to leave black bars on for cinematic effect, and then I just refresh. Okay, don't get mad at me that I do refresh Mickey's like food and water status so that I don't have to undo the black bars. What? Okay, I'm sorry. I want to because
bro,
I'm not
it's-
trying to
it's
be
for
in
the
that
cinema,
moment,
who
and then like
cares?
it's
Yeah,
like
it's for the, exactly.
I'm like watching some crazy fucking scene, like in ghost mode, like looking at like some fucking insane, and then my character passes out. Like, oh, well, shit, you know.
No, I mean, for stuff like that, it makes sense. You know what I mean? It's, you know, you can bend the system a little bit to make the RP, like, it's for the RP, bro. Who cares, right? But, you know,
Yeah, I mean that's
it's not like you're being like, we're going to war and you're gonna fight. You're really hungry. You're like,
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
no food.
Yeah, yeah.
Refresh. It's like,
yeah, I'm like, I think a good, even a good sort of takeaway for this entire conversation with Capt is like, it's for the RP. If it creates cool scenes, if it's
Yeah.
dope, if it's cinematic, we do it. We haven't actually. I don't. I think the worst thing we've run into is just the occasional scheduling issue where me and Kat were running events on the same day at the same.
yeah, that-
we picked the same docs because dude, that area is so sick too.
Yeah,
So-
you
here's
pick the
thing.
same docs too?
Yes.
Yeah. So like, bro, one thing about the docks area and roleplay, like I feel like it gets so underutilized.
Yes. Oh my
so
God.
much cool
Yes.
RP can happen from like drug RP, flipping imports, exports of guns, this that. That's what I've been trying to cook this whole like Jetsam thing, right? Because Jetsam is like the law GTA law vanilla company that owns the
Right.
docks. So like I feel like, bro, man, I wish there was some really cool stuff happening at the docks where a lot of foot traffic is always there. But I mean, you have grime, but it's not really dock stuff.
I don't know if
But-
people are really doing that as much.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a single grime truck in God knows
Yeah.
how long, man. They're just there.
Cool. Well, I think that is a good place to call it. Do dope RP, create dope RP. We've learned a lot from today. Capt is a paragon of the dev menu and uses it very well. I don't. I have a room to improve, right? Also, to be fair, it's something I've really admired. Not to glaze again, but Cap, you've been just so active, and I will admit I am just so in and out of the server. But I swear it's for a good reason. Someday, it'll all be someday it'll all be revealed. Someday. But until that day, I'll keep shit lording and randomly. I did spawn in Kyle when he was doing his like Dr. Skip arc. I just went in and did a delivery of drugs to him and just gave him like fuck tons of drugs to just because like he's trying to roleplay an actual doctor at the hospital
exactly.
and giving out
Yeah,
prescriptions. I'm like, cool. Let me go give you fucking drugs to give to people.
Yeah, I feel like things like that. Like I feel like we should do that. Like I feel like
Yes.
no one should ever. I've seen a problem that I've seen is people don't understand like what we're doing is story. It's storyline. It furthers RP. And again, you guys have all said it. It's all about the scene. That's all that matters. It's not about winning or losing. This that. It's literally about the cinema at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
we don't care about
things like that. Yeah, exactly.
We don't care about the W, the L.
Yeah, I think things like that. I don't think anyone should feel type of way. That's what we should be doing. If people are like,
Yeah,
oh, people
absolutely.
and giving Kyle flipping drugs. Like, imagine what he did. Like, probably went around and does some crazy shit, right? I feel like that's the whole point, really, is creating this world for all the RPs involved. You know?
Absolutely. I think it's you guys have a very important role in the server right now. That, in my opinion, should have been a thing that's been happening for several years, right? Because it's never a negative thing to have more active people that have abilities to create more, right? And it's not all doesn't all just fall on an admin's lap that have to do stuff like that, right? So it's good to have this additional part because when you have active people that are very in touch with what's going on in the server, you can make a big difference with that. So, and you guys have been so.
And I actually will briefly add in that like it really helps that me and Cap have been trusted to do this, but not have to do not do any admin work. Like it's really not like the admins are doing God's work on all of that side of the stuff, but it's really hard. They have to do all the admin work, which makes any of the stuff that we're doing hard for them to do. On the flip side, me and me and Cap can't like we don't have fucking time to do real admin work. I mean, everyone knows what happens when I was an admin. I didn't do shit. So
I kind of want to hear Blau,
Yeah.
read chat. There's a take.
Yeah,
Kind
Elo.
of want to hear
Elo.
Elo's take on this. You know?
I have a
Yeah,
hot
go on,
take on
Elo.
this, but
Elo, you have to say it, bro.
oh
You
yeah,
can't-
now you
can't
have to say
that.
it.
Yeah, Elo,
Come
come
on,
You
Elo.
Elo, you have to. You can't do that, bro. We need to know what you're saying.
You're not allowed to come into the Roleplay Podcast chat with a verified Twitch partner, check mark and not drop the hot take like that. So let's hear it. This will be the last for the episode.
Yeah, I
he's
swear,
typing up a
Elo
storm. Uh-oh.
He's about to.
Oh.
I'm very curious to know what Elo's about to say.
We'll pull you into a call if you want to just put us on blast on something, if that's what you need.
I need to know the tea. I need to know the tea here. Okay, Elo's either typing or he's disappeared.
Give time. I'm typing.
He's typing.
I'm
Oh, shit. Oh,
okay.
shit.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm curious. to know
Bro,
what
oh
he's
my
about to
God.
say.
In before he's like, what Captain Blau are doing is ruining my work because Blau doesn't know how to unspawn the vehicles and keeps putting them into the ocean and it's clogging up the server. And there's been 40 new entities spawned. This does happen, by the way. I now learned how to delete them, but for a while I was just ocean dumping all the vehicles I was spawning in. It was bad.
Yeah, I always get told to, if I spawn a prop, make sure like 48 hours later, just make sure it's gone off the server. Because we had Sab. Sab was making a whole fortress, and it was getting, let's just say these devs are a bit angry at that. Bro, Elo, what's he waiting for?
Oh, he's typing up a storm. There was also the Sab in the admin chat, like in-game admin chat, that was like, "Hey, is anyone using this tank down here at Merryweather?"
Dude.
It's Sab DM like, "Hey man, you need this." The worst was he was like, "Hey, like I like some people got access to it, but I was locked it because like I'm guessing you need it for a mission." Then I had to like tell Sab no, it was for a bit. Okay.
It's a whole paragraph.
I'm ready for this one.
Who's reading it? Who's reading
3.0
it?
people were complaining about whitelists and certain people having the access to spawn/give stuff like drugs, weapons, spawning objects to create a scene, etc. And so in 4.0, that was all taken away and people were given the ability to do everything on their own. Yeah. Comes back to the fucking everybody's gonna bitch culture, right? Wait, didn't we talk about this a little bit, Blau?
Yeah, Elo. So we actually, I'll give my brief take on this. And I've given this take before. Weirdly enough, I actually got clipped for this take months ago before I even had a dev menu. And so one of the things is it's also because when people use the word whitelist, people hate the word. I've learned this is like one of those like weird tricks in psychology. People hate the word whitelist, but if you say quest giver or dungeon master, they're okay with it. That's number one. Number two, I think there's a genuine difference between what were basically whitelists of businesses, weapon benches, and tools in roleplay that basically just gave gangs advantages. This gang leader owned this business. This gang leader owned this restaurant. They were money printers. They were facilities for things, or they just got like a weapons table, which gated people's ability to do heists, etc. That's the whitelist I don't think people liked. The whitelist people did like were, I don't know, like GTA Wise Guy or DW or any of the devs coming in and just like generating cool missions or quests or heists and stuff. People loved that. So I think there's a big difference between like, hey, this person just gets a restaurant that can't be taken away from them and just gets to print money versus, this person comes in and is creating a scene or role play for other people. That's where I think, and so I understand the transition in 4.0. I think we threw the baby out with the bathwater. I think we threw out probably some of the coolest, what I think is some of the coolest shit in roleplay, which is the dungeon masters, the quest givers. I think you 100% need that.
Yeah, the one thing too that sorry, Cap, go ahead.
No, you go.
Cap?
Yeah, okay.
Start talking, please.
I was gonna say, in RP servers, I feel like you definitely need those RP dynamics, right? You need a certain organization to fear. You need a certain this to fear this that because at the end of the day, right? Role play is all about engaging with people. Like you should never be in a situation where you're forced to be in your bubble. You don't need to interact with Tom, Dick, or Harry, A, B, C, or D. You want a gun, hey, in house. You want this in house. You need that in house. Now it's obviously it's changed now. But like I feel like in role play you do need, because it's story, right? You do need people to fear. You need people to, okay, what happens if I do this? Consequence, blah blah blah, right? So like in a RP scenario, an RP world, you definitely need power dynamics, 100%.
Yeah. Another thing too, like when in a bigger view of like the whole whitelisted things that the server had that people did bitch about, right? Which it's like I can see both sides of it, right? I myself don't like the whole just like senior buttons, you can clock in and do it all yourself, right? And then it just turned into people owning booths anyway, right? Like I like, my opinion on it is I think whitelisted stuff is good, right? But it goes back to what we talked about last time, is the use it or lose it kind of thing that we should always have floating around you, right? Like things get stale when you're not putting if you're not putting all your effort into it anymore, right? So let's go back to the conversation of the burger shot, right? I think restaurant RP was awesome, right? Burger shot was the hub. It was fun as hell, but it went on a decline, right? But if you have one person that owns that burger shot the entirety of the like for years, they're not going to have the same drive as from when they first started, right? It's like you need to have somebody that watches all these whitelisted things and make sure that people are using it properly and are doing things to create RP and bring people in and do stuff, right? Otherwise, it's just kind of like, okay, we're gonna find an RP way to close you down and give it to somebody else for them to try to do something with. I always thought that was like, with it, like the restaurant stuff was really fun until it wasn't, right? Because then it was closed all the time. It's like, got to change things up a little bit and give more opportunities, right? It's just how to go about that is one of the hard things to do. But yeah, I think whitelisted things are good in all areas if they're used properly, and it's just getting people to use them properly is always the challenge, right? But I mean, so far right now with like the Dungeon Master and stuff like you guys have right now, it's being used obviously properly and like really well, right? Maybe this can be the start of like kind of trying to get into, giving people more of that kind of ability, right? Even when it's just like RP businesses even, right? And being like expecting that they're going to use it properly, right? And if they don't, remove it and give it to somebody else that actually would be inspired to do something with.
Well, and Chatterbox, you had a great point there, which is like, it also depends like who has it and like how they're kind of using it. Like a great example is like, let's be honest, like take someone like me, like Buddha and Coil trust me when like, yeah, like, oh, Blau, you want to cut, like I'm making just random bespoke heists like here and there that whether I am in the server or not doesn't matter. It's like if I'm there, cool, I can do this. If not, it doesn't affect other people. But now imagine if I asked them for, let's say Mickey was the thermite connect and you needed to go to Mickey to get thermite or laptops to rob the banks. And I'm not fucking in the server at all, or I'm not around during the AU times or later on. And now all of a sudden I've cucked everyone else's RP by just not being around, right? So I think a really big issue that occurred in 3.0 is that a lot of critical, literal mechanic components of whether it was heist progression, drug progression, were whitelisted to certain people. And it was less of a, how were your connections with those characters and more, were they around? Right. And that's where I think a huge issue came in, where it's like, I think a lot of the quest giver dungeon master stuff is like additive role play, not this is a critical piece of the server ecosystem that we're gatekeeping behind one person. I think that's a big difference too.
Yeah.
Things need to move. Things always need to move, right? And it's hard to do that, right? But it always needs to happen, right? It's just like, it's not, we don't need a wipe every 6 months or every year. We don't, right? But if people start getting bored, I mean, that's when people like Cap, you and Blau come in, that you guys can cook up some crazy shit together to cause something that would ruin the economy or take things away from people. Like, you know, you could really you could really turn things up to take things back down a bit, right? To get people to start doing more again, right? Because they have too much. Well, you can take things away, right? But you know, there's tons of things you can do, right? But people are always like, bored now, need an update. What the fuck? It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
you
Yeah.
don't need an update, no.
And I also think as far as like, yeah, also people, another lesson in all this, people are going to complain no matter what. Like they'll complain if there are whitelists, they'll complain if there aren't. Like even as an example of one that's like, hey, we actually did give a whitelist to some, like a true whitelist to someone that I would argue was a classic 3.0 whitelist, but I'd say it was a great one. They gave fucking Burger Shot to Soda Poppin'. That was awesome. Like, yeah, cool. He lost it too. Cool. I think that's sick. Like, did that give Kevin Whippleloo, the character, objectively an advantage in roleplay? Sure. I don't care though. I don't care. As at the end of the day, if it was creating cool RP, I don't care.
Yeah, the problem is people view. I mean, I've seen it. People view roleplay as a bloody esports, bro. If people view it as a win or a loss, no one ever is like story. That's one of the issues. That's why everyone complains. It's like, bro, I don't know. I have a question for you, Blau, though.
Yeah.
What's been like? I'm curious. What's like been your as a DM character, whatever? What's been like the hardest thing in terms of DMing?
Learning the menu for him.
Yeah, Dimok has some stories there. I've done horrendous things to Dimok with that menu.
Oh God.
It's funny. I was reading. I read through a lot of feedback on like some of my missions and stuff from various like sources. I was reading on YouTube and Reddit where, and a lot of it was overwhelming. Like, oh my God, this is sick. Oh my God, the scenes of cinema. It was really funny. One of the biggest pieces of criticism I found, I just don't give a fuck about. And it was people were like, yeah, Blau hasn't figured out the cop balance. And as soon as I read balance, I just checked out. I just like,
What does that mean though?
I'm
Yeah, I know what
guessing
you mean.
I'm guessing what it was. They were probably referring to like the Hades heist because it's like both. Everyone talks about that one as like, oh my God, it was impossible for them to get out. There were so many cops. There's no way. Like, and it's like I'm not. Listen, I left Riot and tuning League of Legends a long time ago. I ain't trying to fucking balance a fucking esport. I don't give a fuck. I only care about, do these scenes look cool? Is this cool role play? Obviously, I wanted to see a chase occur in that. It didn't. But we're role players. We're yes-anding. We're going with the moment. Like, shit happens. Yeah, I just don't fucking care. I don't know how to explain. I just don't fucking care about balance. Like,
I mean, you sometimes you just shouldn't, right? And viewers they're gonna bitch about things no matter what. So even if it was like perfect, right? The other side's gonna come at you and be like, made it way too easy for those criminals. It just fucking make no sense for the cops to even show up, right? You're gonna get it no matter what, dude. So
yeah, I mean, like and to me, I will always stand by that the coolest shit is when it does look like it's fucking like, okay, I'm gonna be so, I have seen so many chases, heists, getaways where I'm like, yeah, dude, like, yeah, fucking 6S plus tuner. Like, there's just, it's like people are driving back into the cops to get into chases again. People are baiting chases. Like, this is just my view. If you really want my take on like cop balance, it's like, I don't give a, like, I can't deal with any of the like, it's just so like low stakes. Anyone and their mother could escape. I want that 1% impossible fucking situation. There's a reason why people remembered the Rainbow Road heist. And it's because Saikuno on Yuno was without a pilot's license, flying a plane, smoking, lit up through the fucking city, through the towers. And it was genuinely a like 1% chance of success and somehow made it through. Yeah, I want to see that. And if that means I have to watch a bunch of fucking people go to jail and get all their shit taken, if I have to waste like fucking 10 heists to get that one gorgeous one, fuck it, I'll do it. Anyways, Cap, what about you? What's the hardest thing for you?
Hold on, before you move on to that,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna comment on something here, just because, like, bro, like, listen, the heist you gave us to go storm that cargo ship, there was nothing wrong with it, bro. Like, the balance was it was perfect, and it's not up to you to make to really necessarily put all your time to make sure the balance is good. It's up to the people that show up to these scenes to balance it. We're the ones that are supposed to balance it. The ones that are participating in it, okay? Because it's role play. Because we make the calls of how to go about the situation, right? We have the options, okay? The situation we had was balanced very well, right? Cops showed up right at the end. And it was some things that we did that we didn't get to the helicopter in time. But the cops could have let us get into the helicopter and fly off and chase us with Air One, right? But they chose not to. Right? But that's nothing because of Blau did. It's not Blau's fault that the cops showed up. It was good that they did, right? Even if he pushed them to. But that's giving everybody something to do. But it's up to the people involved to look at the situation and try to balance it that way and not chase to make sure it just ends, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of viewers skip that part, right? It's not, they could have did, why'd they set it up like this? It's like, no, it's the role players in the scene. It's our jobs to balance every situation, every scene. Everybody ignores that part, but
Yeah, I want to add also, like, people also ignore that the fact that if cops do show up, it's also creating roleplay for them. Like, I don't
Yeah,
understand. Like, yeah, exactly. If cops show up, at the end of the day, we're all role players. No, people who roleplay are cops are not this different bloody breed or whatever, right? They're all role players. That they're coming through. It creates RP for them. They got a massive arc that started from a mission, and then obviously at the end of the day, all comes down to like reading the room and give and take. Really, that's what it comes down to. But I think people tend to forget that. Cops show up. Wow, this is so bad. No, it's that now they can roleplay. Now they something has created for them, which is good. I don't understand why people get all crazy, but what can you do?
it's just sometimes somebody makes a call that's like, man, could have not made that call, right? But then people it causes an uproar. But at the same time, it just kind of like, like I wasn't happy about the helicopter getting shot like immediately, right? Could have went another way, right? But that situation happening might make a difference in another one that might come where they might be like, hold on, maybe we'll let this ride a little bit, right? Because, I mean, not everybody's going to make the perfect call every time, right? It is what it is. It's RP at the end of the day. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're all
yeah.
still learning on this stuff too. And that's not to say like if I read criticism about stuff, like I'm sure Cap does this too. Like if you read criticism about like what you're working on, you would try to improve. Like I'm new to this. I've only done a few. I'm actively trying to improve. I watch Cap stuff to learn and try to improve. So I'm not trying to say, I'm some god who's like a master of this. The one thing I will always just tune out is I just don't care about balance from like a PvP perspective. I just think that's fucking dumb. That's not what I'm trying to, that's a different kitchen that's cooking something else. That's not my kitchen. That's not what we cook here.
Yeah. Listen, I'm reading comments. I don't know how you guys do it, bro. I always get one guide. I will never forget this one comment. I almost want to like invite this guy into a call and just pick his brain. There's one comment I will never forget that like I saw a month ago on YouTube. Someone said, "Oh, the faceless involve too many people." Like, what is that, bro? Like, that is the most. I don't know. It's like, the quest giver's giving too many quests. Like, I will never understand that comment. I got one guy to death, bro. I always remember that comment every time I stream now. I'm like, bro. Like every time,
you, bro.
Yeah, bro. I don't understand what went through that person's head when they wrote that comment. I'm like, bro, what is that?
They're like,
I don't know.
they're thinking
I get
like,
one guy a lot.
This shadowy, insane organization, they would only reach out to the top criminals. Why would they? But it's like, bro, we're fucking role playing. Like, chill, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we're a bunch of Like, just remember, at the end of the day, we're a bunch of a bunch of cringe losers who sit in front of our computers all day and pretend to be these characters. I'd never forget that. We're a bunch of fucking losers. None of us, listen, we pee our pants if we actually shot guns in real life. And none of us actually do any of this cool shit. We just pretend to. So it's roleplay.
Not real.
Oh yeah, there we go. Exactly, it's not real.
Except for Dimmock. Dimmock's actually like Dimmock's a hard gangster. That'd actually be the craziest plot twist.
Yeah.
Like Dimmock plays like Brecker's like this like complete like nerdy dude. And like we actually learned that Dimmock runs like some fucking hard like weapons smuggling shit like IRL.
Yeah. It's true. So you got it?
There's just no way.
That would be that would.
There's just no way.
We'll never know.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. This has been Roleplay Podcast. Capped, dude, thank you so much for coming on. You guys can follow me twitch.tv/capped. Anything you want to say to the folks?
I just want to say thank you for the invite, Blau, Chatty, and Dimmock, and everybody that watched. I appreciate you guys, and I hope everyone's been enjoying, all the RP that's been going on in the server.
Yeah, it's been great. We will. So no Roleplay Podcast next week, but the week after, and then we'll be back on our sort of every other week cadence. What have we noted? Okay, we need to get women on. We'll start the Roleplay Podcast DEI initiative. Dimmock, if you could lead that, make sure I actually invite women on.
I got you. I
got some suggestions. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay.
I got some suggestions. I'll push them up.
Okay. You hear that, production? Yeah.
I hear it. We'll be in touch.
Not Jenny Bear. She's banned from the podcast. Oh, she fucking griefed me in Mario Party. I'm never having her on the podcast ever again. I hate Jenny. She's
Mario. There's what timeline are we living in that there's Mario Party beef now, dude?
It's complicated. Anyways, sweet. Thank you guys so much. Cap, thanks for coming on. Chatterbox, I'm sorry about the Jets. You can watch Edmonton now. I think, listen, it's going to be, I'll call it right here. It's Dallas versus Florida, and Florida dumpsters Dallas. I don't know how to explain. It's sad. It's a really sad timeline, but sorry. I'm not that I'm happy.
No comment.
Timer's up, guys. Timer's up.
I'm so upset.
Guys, thank you so much. This has been Roleplay Podcast. And yeah, we'll see you in the city. Are you guys role-playing after this? Cap,
yes,
Chatterbox?
I am.
Yes, I am.
Oh, maybe I'll go wake up December foods and walk around the city with some money.
All right. Thank you guys.
All right. Peace, guys. See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.